Fighting for clemency, claiming her sentence was too excessive given the circumstances. Many of you remember the case of 2-year-old Kelsey Briggs nearly 20 years ago. Her mother, Raye Dawn Smith, was convicted of enabling child abuse. Her commutation hearings began today. I listened into that hearing where Kelsey's dad is fighting for Smith to stay behind bars and talked to those wanting her early release. In 2005, while Lance Briggs was serving in the military, his 2-year-old daughter, Kelsey Briggs, was found dead in her mother's home. Kelsey's mother, Raye Dawn Smith, got 27 years for enabling child abuse. Smith's husband, Michael Porter, was originally charged with murder and sexual assault, but took a plea deal in exchange for his testimony against Smith and received 30 years for enabling child abuse. 17 years later, Smith wants the Pardon and Parole Board to agree that the nearly same sentences are unjust. Kelsey's dad and grandfather got to speak at the hearing, fighting to keep Smith behind bars.
I understand Ms. Smith has been a model prisoner, but she was not a model mother, and that was her one job. Kelsey got a life sentence. Raye Dawn Smith's sentence was not unjust or excessive.
They'll have a chance for parole after 85%. That's what was handed out by the judge and jury, and I think that's the way that it should be.
10 months prior to Kelsey's death, DHS was investigating signs of abuse, including bruises and broken legs. But ultimately, a judge ruled to keep Kelsey with her mother.
There's no way that Raye Dawn couldn't have known that something was going on.
But Raye Dawn Smith's advocates believe this is a story of disparity.
Raye wasn't even in the home when the murder of her child occurred. She was charged with a crime based on a plea agreement by the individual who actually murdered her daughter. And that's not justice.
In 2006, then Representative Chris Steele co-authored Kelsey's law to strengthen protections for child abuse victims. So while fighting for Smith's release now may appear ironic, Steele disagrees.
When it comes to excessive sentences and wrongful convictions, it is equally important to stand up against those injustices.
Tomorrow is Raye Dawn Smith's chance to speak to the board. That's scheduled for 12:30. If the board votes in favor of her commutation, it still has to be approved by the governor.